that has been riddled with a whole lot of a controversial moment. Well, for the organizers, but Team Nigeria continued their impressive run so far, where world record holder and women's hurdler Tobi Amusan claimed the third hurdles title at the 24th African Athletics Championship in Ghana. That was after she stormed to victory in the women's 100 meters hurdles final yesterday, Wednesday, competing in a fourth championship. Amusan set the pace from start to finish and was followed in second place by Zimbabwe's Ashley Miller, while another Nigerian, Adaobi Tabugo, finished third to win her first individual medal for Nigeria. And Amusan's latest title had to a maiden triumph on home soil in 2018 and a victory in the Mauritius in 2022. Well, whilst the official time was not released by the organizers due to some technical challenges, Amusan dominated the event in the heat and semi-finals with the fastest times before capping a performance with a victory in the final. While speaking after the medal ceremony, quoting Amusan, she said, "I will say all thanks to God. I didn't know what the time is, but I got the win. That's all that matters, and I'm looking forward to the next race. And the goal is to get racing, and this is my season opener, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season." The words of Tobi Amusan. Also, another woman who got a medal for herself was Rosemary Chukwuma, but she didn't get the gold medal as she could only settle for silver in the women's 100 meters final, as Cameroon's Kole Tame won the gold, and Liberia's sprinter Thelma Davies completed the podium as she got a bronze medal for herself. Also, the newly emerging women's 100 meters track sensation Miracle Ezechukwu also featured in the final event, but there was no medal for Miracle, but yes, great exposure for her in the men's draws. Chidera Isiako won a medal in the men's 100 meters final as he finished third, and after yesterday's event, Nigeria has 6 medals, 1 gold, 2 silver and 3 bronze medals so far at the championship, with the final expected to climax on Sunday, May 17th. Wishing all of the Nigerian participants all the best as the events continue today. From athletics to tennis on the program this morning, because we'll be having a Nigerian on tour ahead of the Roland Garros tournament. But this time it will be at the juniors because Nigeria's fast rising tennis player Shehu Ogunshaki has been listed in the qualifying round of this year's Roland Garros juniors event set to take place from May 31st to June 6th in Paris, the French capital. Ogunshaki made the list following his improved ranking as a result of consistent participation in the ITTF, that's the International Tennis Federation, ITF's Grand Slam Player Development Program team, and the top-ranked Nigerian player is now ranked 66th on the entry list and is among the 24 players drawn into the qualifying round after the 46 automatic qualifiers for the main draw. He is born and hails from Ekiti. He has enjoyed a remarkable rise in the junior rankings this season, and his most recent success comes after winning the International Tennis Federation's J200 Africa Regional Championship in Cairo, Egypt, where he defeated Botswana's into Gamlia, going in the final to secure one of the biggest titles of his young career. And he has a 17-year-old who hope to improve on his record on the clay surface in France. After racking so far a 68% win ratio on clay, having won 13 and lost just 6 of his last matches on the clay surface. And yes, these events will be held alongside the French Open, and of course, a fresh crop of youngsters will compete in the bid to emulate the reigning boys champion in Neil McDonald, who defeated Max Schnorhouse in the 2025 final, as the girls champion Lily Tiger, who beat Anna Klugman to win the girls title last year. Wishing Ogunshakin Shield all the best in these endeavors. From there, we move straight to football, and from the NFF, that's the Nigeria Football Federation. Right now, the federation has now entered a partnership with UNICEF, that's the United Nations Children's Fund, on polio eradication and girl child protection campaigns. While the General Secretary of the Nigeria Football Federation on Wednesday welcomed the team from UNICEF, led by the Chief of Communication and Advocacy and Partnership, Alon Vasa, to the NFF Secretariat, with both institutions exploring several ways to collaborate for the good of the girl child, including areas of polio eradication and discouragement of child molestation. Vasa, who led the UNICEF team, said our objective is to engage a couple of players of the Super Falcons to speak out to speak about polio, raise awareness, and address key issues affecting children. And we have had successful collaborations in the past with the great Nigerian ambassadors, and we believe role models from the sport are extremely powerful for these campaigns. On his part, Dr. Mohammed Sinusi for the NFF appreciated UNICEF's and Nigeria's objective, which is child development, saying the topic about with the present NFF leadership is currently passionate about. I wait to see how all of that unfolds in no distant future. And to actual football matters right now, Falconet head coach, that's the under-20 women's national team, Moses Aduku, I will be attending the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup draw, set to take place tomorrow in Lodz, Poland, where the Falconets now plays in Port 2. Well, also on the trip will be the team administrator Kelechi Omeke, as will be part of the much-awaited draw ceremony for the 12th FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup finals. While Nigeria, Benin Republic, Ghana, and Tanzania will be Africa's flag bearers or standard bearers at the 24-nation tournament set to be staged from the 5th of September to the 27th of September in the Polish cities, 4 Polish cities, and all 24 teams have been drawn in 4 ports of 6 teams each. Now let's take a look at the 4 ports. In Port 1 we have Poland, Japan, Spain, North Korea, Brazil. In Port 2 we have the United States of America, Nigeria, Colombia, Mexico, Canada, and New Zealand. Port 3 sees South Korea, England, Ghana, Argentina, China, and Italy. While the 4th port has the likes of Portugal, Ecuador, Costa Rica, Benin Republic, Tanzania, and New Caledonia. I'm bringing Inka to the microphone as we discuss this story regarding the Falconet ahead of qualifications ahead the major tournament for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. Well, right now, the Falconet have now qualified for the World Cup, and will be having the tournament in Poland. But first things first, we'll be having the draws are set to take place later tomorrow. Well, first things first, Inka, let me first say a happy birthday to you and a long life and prosperity, and we hope you enjoy more of this. And talking about the FIFA Under-20 World Cup, well, Moses Aduku, the head coach, he has been traveling, monitoring the team's training and a whole lot of all. But what do you think the Falconets need to do, maybe to take it one step further, because they've been at the finals on 2 different occasions? Germany stopped them from winning, but this time Germany will not be playing at the Under-20 Women's World Cup because they failed to qualify.
Thank you for the birthday appreciation. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Well, for this, we all know that for this Under-20 World Cup, we have first debutants. We have Ghana in the mix. Well, I actually love the fact that the coach Moses Aduku, he's actually, the fact that he's actually monitoring the stuff. He knows what's on the line. And when you talk of the Falconets, they are very good. And as a team, they are very good. They have this coordination. Their coordination is actually very good. But then you know that you don't have to underestimate, your opponent. That's just it. And when you look at the fact that they were stopped by Germany too, well, some couple of years, that doesn't mean that okay, they won't be able to like get in the finish line. They will actually. I also believe that they should be they have to talk to the girls very very well, very very well, because like I said earlier, we have a debutant in this Women's World Cup. We're having Ghana there too. Yes, our neighbors. We actually have our neighbors there, so you don't have to underestimate any team as it is right now. We really don't have to underestimate them. So in as much as the girls are good, even as much as they're very very good, they also have to put in mind that they want to go to the finish line. Yeah, they have to just make sure that okay, we have to finish this job very very well, because they're not the only team that is. The other teams too, they're actually vying for their positions too.
Other teams vying for positions too, and we are seeing Port 1 having the big wigs and the heavyweights, and one team I will be watching with keen interest. Yes, it's North Korea. Yes, you heard me correctly, North Korea. Well, you might think they might not be big on football, but when it comes to 8th grade women's football, North Korea, I imagine a powerhouse in women's football. Still with women's football as we prepare for our first commercial break. For Nigeria's Flamingos, that's the under-17 girls national team, will be taking on Lakeside Queens in a friendly match in Ikenne later today as they intensify preparations for the 2026 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifier against Guinea, and it will be the Flamingos' first friendly since arriving in Ikenne for the final phase of their preparations for the qualifying fixtures. Akim Busari's side played 5 friendly matches in Abuja before traveling to Ikenne, and they secured 4 victories and 1 draw from their 5 friendly games. And the team is expected to play more friendly games before taking on the Guineans. And the first leg expected to be played on Sunday, May 24th in Conakry at the Guinean capital before the reverse fixture set to take place at the Remo Star Stadium in Ikenne a week later. Well, wish them all the best. Well, this is 15 minutes to the hour of 8. We'll be going for a commercial break. When we return, we'll move straight to the foreign scene. Sport Tit Bits, we'll be right back.
Nítorí Olúwa ṣeun ńlá fún wa, àwa ń yọ̀. Ìjọ onítẹ̀bọmi Victory Independent Baptist Church Ìlúpéjú Bódìjà Ìbàdàn pé 30 ọdún tí wọ́n dá sílẹ̀, hallelujah. Àkórí àjọ̀dún tọdún yìí ni iṣẹ́ ńlá. Ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa láti ṣe àjọyọ̀ 30 ọdún t'Olúwa ti ń jẹ́ olóòtítọ́ sí wa. 30 ọdún wíwàásù ìyìn rere, 30 ọdún jíjẹ́ orísun ìbùkún. Ọjọ́ Sunday ọjọ́ 17 oṣù karùn-ún ọdún 2026 ní ìsìn àjọ̀dún wáyé láago 10 òwúrọ̀. Àwọn oníwàásù ọjọ́ náà ni olùdásílẹ̀ ìjọ missionary Robert Smith àti ìyàwó wọn Rhoda Smith. Olùgbàlejò ajínrere Babátúndé Àjàyí. Ẹ wá ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ fẹ̀mí ìmoore hàn sí Olúwa. Jésù lolúwa.
You're still on your number 1 radio station, Oluyole FM 98.5. This is to announce that we are looking for our mother who left home on the 8th of May 2026 with the address of Transformer Junction, Agbowo, Ibadan. Name, Mrs. Chukwuma Onyinyechi, 80 years of age. Fair in complexion, tall, and speak English and Igbo language fluently. All efforts made to trace her movement proved abortive. We hereby appeal to the public, if there is any trace of her, should please call those numbers: 0703 388 1230 or 081 0094 2302, or please report to the nearest police station. We pray she comes back safely. Announcer Mrs. Onyinye Gift Chukwuma.
wá fọ̀rọ̀ mi ṣe yá.
Ọlọ́run tó ṣàwòtán omi ìtẹ̀dọ̀ Jẹ́ríkò sì wà síbẹ̀ kò yí padà. Ìdí nìyí tí ìjọ Apostolic Church of Christ Mobolaji Cathedral Òkè Ìṣẹ́gun Jagun Àkàrà Road Ìbàdàn fi ń pè ọ́ sí àṣálẹ̀ oníyọ̀ àkànṣe ìpàdé àdúrà èyí tó máa ń wáyé lálẹ́ Friday kẹta lóṣooṣù bẹ̀rẹ̀ láago 11 alẹ́. Ìpè Apostle Dr. Kehinde Ọmọlolú Ṣàgógadé ṣì ń fọhùn síbẹ̀. Jésù Olúwa wípé kì yóò sí ikú mọ́ tàbí wàhálà. Máa bọ̀ wá pàdé Jésù olùgbàlà fún ìyanu tiẹ̀ náà. Ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn olórí ẹ̀mí ni Olúwa yóò máa lò nínú ìpàdé àṣálẹ̀ oníyọ̀ yìí. Lára àwọn ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run alààyè tí Olúwa yóò máa lò ní Apostle Lasisi, Apostle Ọ̀dẹ́rọ̀gẹ́, Apostle Akéwálé, Apostle Bámidélé, Apostle Ọ̀páyínká, Apostle Mother Esther Pópóọlá, Prophetess Fúnkẹ́ Abíọ́nà, Reverend Dáre Owólabí, Reverend Ṣèyí Akínwálé àti ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run alààyè míì. Olùgbàlejò ni Reverend Sùnbọ̀ Ṣàgógadé. Telephone 08059132310. Alẹ́ Friday tó ń bọ̀ yìí ní kájọ pàdé Ọlọ́run níbi ìpàdé àdúrà àṣálẹ̀ oníyọ̀. Ìyanu yóò ṣẹlẹ̀ lórúkọ Jésù. Olùkéde Salt Night Committee.
Nàìjíríà ilẹ̀ tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ tó sì ń gbé ní ìrẹ́pọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n báwo la ṣe lè fìdí ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ àti pé báwo la ṣe lè ní àǹfààní sáwọn tó ṣe pàtàkì. Ẹ wá gbọ́ àgbékalẹ̀ ìwé ẹ̀rí àdírẹ́sì ibùgbé ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan POA lábẹ́ ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ àdúgbò tó ń gbé wà fún ìdàgbàsókè àti ètò ààbò tó fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fojú inú wò ìwé ẹ̀rí àdírẹ́sì ibùgbé rẹ tó dájú tó sì jẹ́ látọ̀dọ̀ ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ tó wà ìrọ̀rùn gbáà ni.
Pẹ̀lú ìwé ẹ̀rí mi tuntun ó rọrùn fún mi láti yáwó ní báńkì mi wọ́n rí àrídájú ibi tí mò ń gbé inú mi sì dùn gan.
Mo lo tèmi fún okòwò mi ó yára ó sì dájú kódà àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ wọn ràn mí lọ́wọ́ láti tọ́ mi sọ́nà. Ìforúkọsílẹ̀ àdírẹ́sì ibùgbé rẹ jẹ́ ètò tó dájú tí ó sì lè ṣe àwọn àǹfààní sílẹ̀ fún gbogbo ènìyàn. Ìwé ẹ̀rí yìí yóò dáàbò bo ọjọ́ ọ̀la rẹ yóò fòpin sí ìwà ọ̀daràn tí ètò ààbò tó péye yóò sì wà pẹ̀lú fún gbogbo ènìyàn. Fi ìwé ẹ̀rí àdírẹ́sì ibùgbé rẹ hàn lónìí jẹ́ ká jọ gbé orílẹ̀-èdè yìí gòkè àgbà kàn sí àwọn ilé ìfìwéránṣẹ́ àti ibùgbé ìforúkọsílẹ̀ tá a ti yà sọ́tọ̀.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti ọ́fíìsì akọ̀wé ìjọba àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí NIPOST àti ALGON.
Yes, you're welcome back from that commercial break. You still on to Sport Tit Bits right here on Oluyole 98.5 FM. We're also live on Okyogo 96.3 FM and Agility 92.1 FM. On Facebook and on YouTube. Also, we're live on Radio Garden, so you can move along and move around and still have a listen to your breakfast sports show on radio from any part of the world. And moving straight to other sporting stories as we hit the home run. Well, ahead of the FIFA World Cup, well, right now, and I'm sure it's no more news even right here in Nigeria. We know what it feels like to experience the sweltering heat as we've been having some high temperatures lately, but it's also a global event because in an open letter, international experts in health, climate and sport performance say World Football Governing Bodies FIFA's guidelines are out of step with the current science and impossible to justify, as they have now called on FIFA to introduce stronger protections, including longer cooling breaks and clearer protocols for delaying or postponing games in extreme conditions. And heat is expected to be an issue at this summer's tournament in the US, Canada and Mexico, with researchers warning temperatures at 14 of the 16 stadiums being used could exceed dangerous levels in parts of the southern US and northern Mexico. Average daytime highs are typically in the low to mid 30 degrees Celsius and could rise towards 40 degrees Celsius during hotter spells. And when temperature, humidity and wind speed and the strength of the sunshine are factored in, players in these World Cup host cities are at a greater risk of experiencing extreme levels of heat stress on the body. I'm sure we still remember some of the scenes we saw at the last FIFA Club World Cup in the US, where some players were actually sitting in the dressing room because of how high the temperatures were during the FIFA World Cup. And we could also see a repeat of such at the upcoming FIFA World Cup. And we hope we will not experience some of these heat strokes which is being predicted when the World Cup starts later. Now let us move straight to some club football stories. We're giving you results of some games played in the Spanish La Liga. Yesterday, the city of Alaves saw Alaves taking on Barcelona as Alaves defeated Barcelona by a lone goal. But Barcelona now confirmed the champions of the Spanish La Liga. Well, also yesterday, Getafe defeated Mallorca 3-1. As Espanyol defeated Athletic Club by 2-0. Yesterday, Villarreal lost 2-3 to Sevilla. And giving you a result of games played yesterday in the Spanish La Liga. Well, the games continue today, 6 p.m. Nigerian time, Valencia versus Rayo Vallecano. And we'll be seeing Girona taking on Real Sociedad by 7 p.m. And by 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m., it will be Real Madrid versus Real Oviedo in the Spanish La Liga. Well, one game was played in the English Premier League yesterday, and that was the game in the city of Manchester as Manchester City took on Crystal Palace in their own game in hand, and after regulation time it was Manchester City 3, Crystal Palace nil, as Antoine Semenyo opened scoring in the 32nd minute and Umama Mush in the 40th minute, and Savio scored the winner in the 84th minute. When we saw Phil Foden having a brace of assists yesterday, and right now after the game played yesterday, all of the matches, all of the teams in the English Premier League have now played 36 matches, and right now it is Arsenal on top of the Premier League table, 36 matches played, 79 points. Manchester City now in second place, still in second place at 77 points, just 2 points adrift Arsenal, and of course it is all to play for as we get to the last two matches of the English Premier League. Well, the games will continue this weekend, but City will be engaged in an FA Cup final, so no Premier League game for City this weekend, and of course it will be another opportunity for Arsenal to put daylight between them and Manchester City. City will be hoping for Arsenal to slip up and they catch up. We'll give you updates from tennis as we go back to tennis. Well, right now, four-time Women's French Open champion Iga Swiatek has underlined how she is rediscovering her finest form on clay with another ruthless win to reach the Italian Open semi-finals. Yesterday, she dispatched Jessica Pegula, American 5th seed, 6-1, 6-2, and she needed just a little over an hour to beat the American, dropping just 3 games against the 4-time winner Naomi Osaka in the previous round. She has then laid a marker as she hopes to return to winning ways ahead of the clay court season. And of course, the French Open, that's the Roland Garros, will be a great way to bring the name back to women's reckoning in tennis. Of course, we wonder if she'll truly rediscover her form in the world of tennis. Well, check your time right now. This is 3 minutes to the of 8. Well, it's time for us to drop anchor on the program, but not to worry. Tomorrow morning, Friday, we'll be back here for a brand new edition of the program. I will say thank you for joining us, and to also those who dropped comments on Facebook, Olaleke Toyo, we say thank you for your comment, and to those who also streamed us, and to our silent listeners and viewers online, we say thank you very much. Well, tomorrow morning 7:30 a.m. I'll be back here for a brand new edition of the program. Hope you will enjoy the rest of your Thursday. We'll see you next time.
àṣà abẹ́rẹ́ ìròyìn abẹ́rẹ́ ètò abẹ́rẹ́ Ìbàdàn àwọn ẹ̀rẹ́ nígbà wá.
ó pè ọ́ kó o kéde ọjà rẹ nílé akéde Olúyọ̀lé FM 98.5 kíkéde ọjà rẹ kó lè kún níbàárà rẹ la.
ọ̀pọ̀ ti sún ó ṣẹ̀dẹ̀ rí bó ṣe wá mọ́lẹ̀ kedere fẹ́ni tó ti gbọ́ kó sọ fẹ́ni tí ò gbọ́ PCOS bàbá wa làgbà adìẹ ẹṣin tó ṣíwájú ó ti gbà pò kíní náà tó bá fẹ́ polówó ọjà kájé bùgbàjẹ́ kàn sí wa ní room 2 tó fi dé room 6 commercial department PCOS ilé akéde ẹ wúra wọ PCOS ọ̀pọ̀ ti sún ó fakọyọ ó tún clear gan. PCOS ọ̀pọ̀ ti sún wọ́n ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ ó tún mọ́lẹ̀ kedere. àní right now PCOS ọ̀pọ̀ ti sún ó fakọyọ ó tún clear gan. nísẹ́yìn PCOS ọ̀pọ̀ ti sún wọ́n ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ ó tún mọ́lẹ̀ kedere. gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń gbọ́ tiwa Oluyole 88.5 Agilete 92.5 lókè ògùn 96.3 FM gbogbo yín pátá la kí àti ẹ̀yin tẹ́ fẹ́ bá wa dòwò mọ́ oṣù ọ̀ ẹ máa rí tajé ṣe o TS Charity ẹ wúra wò yí o PCOS ọ̀pọ̀ ti sùn ó fakọyọ ó tún kí gan.